Lots on the schedule this week. Consumer confidence on Tuesday, new home sale data on Wednesday, Fed interest rate decision Wednesday, 25 basis points likely. Quarter two GDP coming out Thursday morning. PCE inflation data on Friday. So there's a lot of information coming out this week. Me personally, 13 straight winning trades. Let's talk about my two trades from yesterday and why you guys could have been successful yesterday. Pre-market yesterday, right? On Discord. I'm sorry, not on Discord, on YouTube. I spoke about possible trade into NEO. NEO was up 1.5% pre-market. I mentioned possibility that China was going to infuse more money into their economies. Chinese stocks could do better. I don't trust Chinese stocks, but the reason behind NEO, and we'll get there, is the flow. So as you can see yesterday, there was 147,000 contracts on the call side open and about 2,000 put side contracts open. That tells me very bullish. And this is before the 10, 11, 12% run up yesterday. Again, acquiring momentum. You could see it's building the momentum going up, whereas the stock price was still at $10.55. I think we're closer to $12 today. So does NEO have more room to run? I don't really know. I mean, if you got in now after it's up 4% this morning, it went up 11% yesterday, you're chasing. But I also spoke about a couple other plays yesterday morning, and I'll talk about my two plays. My first play was Disney calls. Disney calls that I got into at $1.10 each. I sold for $1.20 each. After I sold, they went up to $1.53. Now, let's talk about why I sold. I used the flows and algorithms, and it actually told me that Disney was extremely bearish yesterday. So right away, I said, I want to get the hell out of this. So I took my 9% gain. Now, after I took my 9%, again, Disney went up another 30 cents. My contract price to like $1.56, $1.57. I was in at 110. Let's just say you sell it 150. That's 40 cents. 40 over 110. That's about a 34% profit. Me, I took 9%. So I left a whole bunch on the table. But why am I so proud of this trade? And why did I journal it? Because first, I journal every trade, but I'm so proud because when I understood my risk was going against me, when the flow was going against me, instead of saying, you know what, I should be correct. If the market continues to fade higher, I should be correct. So again, sold out, took my profit. Then what did I do? I got into some SPY puts when the SPY hit 454.10. Which was the high from yesterday, then 454.50. I added a bunch more because I expected it to reject, and it almost went up to 455. With that said, I knew my SPY puts, which expired today, giving me a whole full day out. I said to myself, okay, you know your strategy. You believe the market is a little heavy on top. It's light volume. You could easily see a 1 or 2 point swing down off consolidation. So what did I do? Again, those SPY puts I got in, I think I got in at 79 cents. Then they went down to 65 cents. I added some more. Then they were 62 cents. Then they were 56 cents. And I'm saying to myself, I could be wrong. And in the past, someone like me, I'm like, oh, shit, I could be wrong. Better be safe, get out. So I would sell at the bottom sometimes. And then all of a sudden I would see exactly what I predicted. And again, when the SPY dropped, those SPY puts went up to $1.04 each. So again, as low as 56 cents up to $1.04. My first entry was 80, then 75, then 65, then 62, then again at 60. When it went up to $1, I got out at 98 cents and then $1.02. So my average exit was $1. So that's how you make successful trades. You don't over leverage yourself. Now let's talk about what happened overnight. Overnight, again, the Chinese government, and I've been talking about this for a number of weeks, they're injecting stimulus into their economy. Their economy is struggling. I'm pretty sure they're in recession, although they'll never, ever say the word recession. We already know Europe's being hit hard. We still have the war in Russia and Ukraine. So with that said, China said that they're still going to inject a whole bunch of stimulus into their economy, and their stock market shot up, I think, 5% overnight. So then you might look at the yin or yang, which is the 3 times or 3x bear and 3x bull case scenario for the Hang Seng, and you're like, okay, well, that's only up 7% this morning. It should be up 15%. Let's remember it was up 6% yesterday. So again, if you think that you're smarter than the markets, you're not. In the past, I've always said, okay, well, the markets are too frothy, they should come down. Whereas now I follow the flow and the algorithms. It's not about, okay, well, Disney's a great stock. Disney's a great company. They're going to bounce back. No, if United Airlines, if Carnival Cruise Lines, if Royal Caribbean, if Disney continue to go down, Dow stocks that are struggling, they will continue. Okay, understand there has to be a reason for the market to want to buy up these companies. And right now, there are so many other companies out there that have potential to go higher, and that's where the money is rotating over to. Okay, so let's talk about a few other things, then we'll get into my SPY prediction today. If you have any questions, please put it on the side, and we'll get to all the questions as well. All right, so I mentioned, again, new home data tomorrow, consumer confidence today. Don't really care that much. Fed's decision tomorrow. So we're going to hear from them at 2 p.m. We'll get some minutes dropped at 2 p.m. tomorrow. We're expecting a quarter-point raise. That's what the market has factored in as well. And then you've got Chairman Powell, who will be speaking at 2:30 and then answering questions. So I expect some volatility tomorrow afternoon. Remember, I made this comment a bunch. Use a cash account, but that's not what I was saying. If you want to trade tomorrow, it's okay to wait until 2 o'clock or 2:30, knowing you're going to see extreme volatility, getting into a position, waiting for the spike down and the spike up. I don't care which side you play and looking for 20%. There's an easy trade right there. I don't care if you tell me Meta calls, Meta puts, Apple calls, Apple puts. If you enter at 2 p.m., whatever the trade is tomorrow, and you ask for a 20% profit, you buy a contract for $100 or $120, you're looking for 20%, so you put in it for 142 as an exit. I guarantee, don't care if it's a put or a call, when we get that dip, when the 2 p.m. news comes out and then Powell comes out at 2:30 and we get another spike and dip and spike and dip, you're going to make 20, 25%. Like that. Doesn't even matter what position you're in. Just you got to make sure you get a proper entry. All right, what else is going on? Earnings coming out today. We have Google, Microsoft, Spotify, General Motors, which beat a little this morning, Visa, and Snapchat. Now, I mentioned Snapchat I was eyeballing, but here's the thing. I saw a huge trade come over, about $7.7 million worth of premium yesterday. Calls on the, what was it? I think it was a $14 call on Snap, and Snap is what, $12.86, something in that range. With that said, I looked this morning to see if open interest had increased by the number of contracts, and it had not. So that tells me that the trade that I saw come over wasn't necessarily they're purchasing more because the open interest would increase 70,000 contracts. So I'm actually going to stay away from Snap. Again, Snap has earnings. GM, Spotify, Visa. Asia stocks surge on China's stimulus pledge. Hong Kong shares rise over 4%. What else? China pledges more support for their economy. Got the Snapchat trade I was talking about. Reporting. See, this is what I was looking at, and here's the flow yesterday. You could see on our Discord, you could see there were a whole bunch of Snap contracts exchanged right before the close yesterday, which piqued my interest. And then if I look at the number of open interest contracts versus the number of open interest puts, calls versus puts, I'm at 271,000 calls, 95,000 puts. That's almost a 3-to-1 ratio. So someone's asking for the flow on Disney. We're going to get that. Vail trade today. I don't even follow Vail, so I will not be trading Vail today. All right, let's talk about the SPY now, and then we'll get to the questions. SPY, yesterday first, okay? Let's remember all the Mondays dating back to 6 Mondays. I mentioned what? A 3-point range on the SPY. Previous Monday was 2.86. So the high on the SPY yesterday, 455.04. The low, 452.30, okay? The range, 2 points, 2.74. So again, 2.86 the previous Monday, 2.74 yesterday. Volume was at 54 million, extremely light volume day. Tuesdays, we generally see more volume, about 72 million, and we generally see a larger range, the range being 3.5 points. So how do we use that? Let's say we see a similar day to yesterday and we drop and then we fade higher all day. We drop down to 453 flat, okay? 453 flat. I say there's going to be a 3.5 or 3.25 point range. If 453 flat is the bottom today, then I'm telling you the top will be 456.5, 456.40, something like that. Okay, so your two scenarios are your bear case scenarios. Okay, the market stutters this morning for the first 10 or 15 minutes, little ups, little downs. Then we go down to 450. 453 at 453 around 10:20, 10:50 a.m., somewhere in the late 10 a.m. Period. We find a baseline or support at 453, and then we fade higher. You'll see it shoot up to 454, then it'll meander around there, then 455, 456, end of day push. Okay, that's your bull case scenario. Your bear case scenario is, okay, we closed at 454.20. We're probably right around there, maybe up maybe 0.10. Point up 07 this morning. Okay, so 454.50 is where we are right now. Again, that's where I bought my puts yesterday, and then it went higher to 455 again. Then it dropped to 453.50, got out secured profit. But again, bear case scenario, okay, let's just think of this. We're going to reject 455. Okay, maybe 455.20 will go a little higher than yesterday. All right, and that's going to happen slightly after open, maybe like 10, 10.20, 10.50, something like that. And then the market's going to struggle, and then it's going to have a 1 point drop, struggle again, have another 1 point drop. So if we see 455 on the high, then you're possibly going to see 452 flat. Okay, again, bull case scenario, drop to 453, shoot up to 456. Bear case scenario, reject 455, 455.20, whatever it is, and drop down 3 points by the end of the day to 452 and change, maybe 451.97, but 452.40, something like that. So those are your two scenarios. That's how I'm going to play today. Now, will I make any decisions in the morning? I'm going to wait and see how the market plays out. Let's remember, yesterday, I was early selling my Disney, okay? I sold my Disney because it had bearish flow, and the person that's asking what's going on with Disney now, which is Vito, it had bearish flow yesterday. I'm assuming it continued. In order for that to flip, I'd have to see call premiums rise up and put premiums drop. So let's get to that right away. Let's ask and see if we can answer Vito's question. So what would I do? I'm going on Discord. I'm leaving the small accounts room. I'm leaving all these rooms behind, and I'm going to the flows room. So in the flows room, I like to see what people are checking out. Love is checking out, again, 2,000 calls for Avgo. So it's almost a 9-to-1 ratio, calls versus puts, okay? Again, BlackRock, expensive stock, but you're looking, cost for puts, extremely low, cost for calls, net premiums, pretty high, stock price, pretty high. This is the one I looked at yesterday for Snap. All right, so let's go down there, and let's check out Disney. So the first thing I want to do is TR, net flow, and Disney, and we'll go out like 5 days, okay? Because you want to see and you want to backdate this and go out a full week so you can see, oh, shit. Now, here's what you're looking at, okay? Disney's price, down here, $85.50. Then all the way up here day before yesterday, $88, right? Then what happened? They started buying puts. Even though they were buying puts, the stock price dropped, right? And then the stock price, I got into my calls yesterday here. I got out, or right here, it spiked even higher, and then it spiked higher twice more. But understand, the premiums for puts haven't dropped, so people are still holding their puts. The premium for calls haven't spiked, and no one's switched over. And if you look at the flow at the bottom, it happens to be continuation of bearish. So I mentioned to Vito this morning that you'll see similar things, even though we were strong, Delta or United Airlines, the airlines look good, that you'll probably see something similar. Again, there are other Dow stocks. Uber is considered a Dow stock. Now, this is interesting. We saw the flow on Delta flip a couple of days ago. Then it turned somewhat bearish. So I would like to see if the premiums for the puts on Delta drop down here and calls spike again a little higher, and the stock price is still hovering around $48, then I could get into Delta. But again, I'm only looking to make a trade to be profitable today. So would Delta be the most profitable trade for me today? Probably not. I'll talk about my stocks that I'm going to enter today. Yesterday, let's also remember, I mentioned Boeing, that if the Dow went up 9 straight days, and yesterday would be the 10th straight day, and Boeing, I showed you guys, had a bunch of support on the algos, which is what we just did. So let's get up there again. And someone's asking about Tesla, and then we can check out the dark pool levels. So let's go check out Tesla. Now, here's the thing. I know that they've been buying Tesla calls like as they're going out of style. We'll check out a 5-day flow for Tesla. Now, I got into 2 Tesla puts yesterday. I'm probably down, $140. So it's not killer. But I also thought I'd be right. I thought tech would sell off. So here's Tesla the last 5 days. What are we seeing? As Tesla's price dropped, okay, with the market, all right, I'm looking at calls right now. So Tesla's prices in white is dropping, dropping, dropping. I'm looking at call premiums down here. Still wouldn't be interested. Now, once they broke over the put premiums, which must have happened yesterday at some point, that became very bullish for Tesla. Next for Tesla is, I also read last night that a bunch of institutions are selling the 300. They were selling the 300 puts and they were buying the 400 calls. I'm talking about Leap. They're going out to like January. They were buying the 400 calls, so they think Tesla's going up. And in retrospect, they're also selling the 300 puts. So if Tesla comes 320, 340, 360, those puts are worthless. Again, so are the calls. So they're kind of covering themselves, making a wager that Tesla's going to outperform, the rest of the market. Again, it's extreme bullish bet. If you look at it, I don't know the sizing of the contracts, but I know the 400 calls were pretty substantial. So again, I got into 2 Tesla puts yesterday. I'm probably going to get out unless I see the Qs are going to drop hard, and still Tesla might not drop hard. If you look at NIO, Lee, Rivian, Lucid, they've all had some good support lately. So yeah, I mean, that's what I'm seeing with Tesla. I'm just going to see what the algorithms are telling me. So we'll look at TR algo flow for Tesla. And does that mean I want to get into calls on Tesla? No, because the stock price is up here. The algos are up here. What would I want to see? I would want to see bullish divergence, meaning the stock price is down here. The algos are telling me the stock price should be up here, or the stock price is here at 270, and the algos are telling me it should be 285 or something to that extent. Then I would get extremely excited. We can look at the same thing for Palantir. Sure, why not? Let's do it. Let's look at the net flow, and I'll go out a couple of these. So just to show you guys, we'll look at the market real quick first. Market net flow, right? This would just be yesterday, okay? So yesterday we could see end of day, as the market was dropping, the calls were picking up, but the puts didn't give up. So you're like, okay, well, that's kind of mixed, Matt. So that's why I say, okay, you can go back net flow. You can go back 3 days. 5 days. Net flow. Oh, I didn't type in market. Market. You can go back 3 days. So then you'll see the net flow for 3 days. And I will look at your Palantir question. I just wanted to show everybody how I look at the market when I can see some type of changes happening, things of that nature. Again, here's your net flow for the market. Net flow for the market tells me, okay, I'm still a little bearish. So instead of buying the dips, which I mentioned yesterday, I was not a dip buyer. I was a spike put buyer. I want the market to spike. The market spikes this morning to 457 out of the gate. I would be happy that I'm pigging shit, right? 457. I'm like, okay, I see some rejection. I'd be buying puts, and we drop right back to 454. So here we go. Market net flow. Again, once puts crossed over, okay, this tells me I should be somewhat bearish. Puts shot up, calls shot up, so calls haven't given up, puts haven't given up, calls haven't given up. So again, you're seeing a similar separation. Now it's growing a little, something like this. You see where it's wider here, and then the market dropped, right? It's narrower here, right? And the market spiked up. So as it gets closer, even though, they're both net premiums are through the roof, IVs are through the roof, I'm going to wait. If this widens, if calls come down here, then I'm going to be extremely bearish. If calls get even closer, then I know that the market's likely to spike up here, 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 okay? So that's an easy tell. So as far as today goes, how I'm going to analyze the market, I just gave you guys the clue right there. I'm going to look at market net flow. I'm going to go out 5 days. I'm going to use Discord, our Discord. And if you want to join our Discord, I'll put it right here. It's socplatform.com. It should be on the side now. And so there you can see that. And we'll look at Palantir in a second. But the point is, again, if I see them get closer, as I showed everybody, and I'll circle it again, why not go over it again, okay? So as they cross over, okay, then you're looking here, it's wider, wider, wider with puts on top. So we expect a market drop. Then I look at a spot right here where it's still, the market's down here. The white line's the market, but it's getting really close. So calls are rising and puts are decreasing. What do I expect? A spike. Boom, there's your spike, okay? Now right here, when the market spikes again, but it's getting wider, what do I expect? A dip. Well, there's your dip right there. So again, what am I going to use today? I'm going to write it down so I don't forget it. Instead of writing down, which I had yesterday, Palantir, Affirm, and Boeing, Maracoin, and UAL on the downside, right? UAL, okay? I'm going to use market net flow, And as they get closer, that would be bullish. And as there's more divergence in the put and calls, that would be bearish, because it's sometimes, as you can see right here, as it got real wide right here, what happened? The market dropped. When the market dropped, you could see them buying calls right here. And it only lasted for a little bit and the market spiked up. Okay. Then you saw them buying puts right here. See the spike in puts? What happened? Drop in market price. So again, I know someone asked about Palantir, and let's do that right now. But I would rather look at the market net flow, because they're almost giving you a free tool to say, hey, follow this flow. When the flow gets put up and it gets closer, boom, all of a sudden the market spikes. When puts separate themselves from the call premiums, boom, we expect a market dip even though the price is high. So Palantir, let's look at the net flow for Palantir. Let's go out 5 days. And again, Palantir has the option to ride down to $16, which I mentioned yesterday. Okay, so that's the net flow for 5-day Palantir. What do I see? Well, as the price is coming down, so is the premium on calls. In fact, it's almost at zero, and the put premium's still at zero. So honestly, I wouldn't expect much activity in Palantir, meaning 2.5% in either direction. If Palantir goes down 2.5%, I'd look for a bounce back to even. If Palantir's up to 2.5%, I'd look for a bounce back to even. So no, I wouldn't trade Palantir today. The same reason I wouldn't trade Snap today. I mentioned Snap earlier, and I wouldn't trade Snap. Why? Because the IVs are so freaking huge. If you want to trade Snap based on earnings, as Love said in our group, you must go out. And for anybody that missed the SPY analysis, I'll give you it real quick. But you could always watch from the beginning, again, if you missed something. SPY analysis, SPY is sitting at, we closed at 454.20 yesterday. You know what? Let's get rid of Discord right here. And I'm going to bring up this SPY, because I did want to show you guys something really quickly. And those that stuck around, you'll probably appreciate this. So here we go. Boom. Let's bring up the SPY. Let's just get rid of this. Here we go. Add to stream. Okay, so if you guys are looking at the SPY with me, right? So let's go just to how we closed yesterday. I'm on the 1-minute chart, but we can go back to the 3-minute chart. What am I seeing on the 1-minute chart? Okay, volume was dead yesterday, as I mentioned. But where was most of the volume? After we even saw that late day drop with about 10 or 12 minutes left, the market didn't care. It bought up that shit, and it bought it up strongly end of day. So, and we did the same thing the previous day. Remember, yesterday's low was still higher than Friday's close. Friday's close was 352.18. I think we opened yesterday, or yesterday's low was 352.20. I mentioned yesterday we probably see 3-point swing from bottom to top, and instead yesterday we saw 2.76. So likely today we're going to see 3 to 3.25 point swing. You're likely to see SPY volume around 70 to 72 million, an increase from yesterday of about 40%. Again, be careful, because we have the Fed coming out on Wednesday, and we have GDP numbers for Q2 coming out on Thursday. So there could be a lot of movement. So what are we seeing? 454.43, slightly up this morning. Oh, shit. You guys not even looking? Oh, you are looking at it with me. Thank goodness. All right. So here we go. Now that I've mentioned it's going to be a 3.25 point range, and we're going to 454.50, and we know we rejected at 455 yesterday. Let's say we go a little higher this morning out of the gate, okay? So here's your SPY prediction. Out of the gate, we're going, this is your bear case scenario, and then we'll do your bull case scenario. Bear case scenarios, we're going to shoot up out of the gate to 455.80, something to that extent. If that is the top and we see a double or triple rejection, then we're going down from 455.80, take 3 points, and you go 452.80, Matt. Is that correct? That's 3 points. Yes, that's correct. So under 453, your bear cases, we're going to shoot up. Once we reject the top, if you only see 1.5 points, something like that, then we're going down. Your bull case scenario is, and that's probably more likely to happen, although I'm a bear, it's very hard for me to be, say that, I'm going to do some bullish shit. So your bull case scenario, hopefully you understood that, is we drop down to 453 flat, or 453.20, or 453.40, and then we shoot up real quick. We're back green on the day. So we go red on the day, we go back to green on the day. And from the low, you want to add 3.25, 3.5 points, okay? Somewhere between 3.5. So say the low on the day, we shoot down after the market opens 453.50, find some stability. Then you say to yourself, add 3 points. 456.50, 50. Okay, market's going to fade higher. So again, we saw something like that yesterday. We saw the market sell off on good volume, and then it faded higher on light volume, which is why I got into SPY puts when I did, because I said if the stronger volume was bearish volume and we're fading higher on smaller volume, then it's likely we'll drop at some point. Now the market will likely find support. When we did drop at 2:30 yesterday afternoon off, I think it was 800,000 volume on the SPY, all of a sudden the next minute we saw 900,000 of buying. So they were buying the dip yesterday. And the reason, like I showed you how we closed yesterday, is why, again, I hate to say it, but looking at the chart, I would have to say, okay, I'm bullish. Yesterday, I didn't want to buy the dip, but today, it kind of the way the market closed. And again, most of the volume was right before close yesterday, and most of the volume was bullish. However, it was a low volume day, which is telling me, that's why I really want to wait, let things play out this morning. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Dog's barking, meaning I got to take him out for a walk. He's ready to go. Appreciate everybody joining me. What stocks are best to play today? That's a great question, Kumar. So I won't answer thoughts on Intel. I'm sorry. I just got to head out. But I will do what stocks are great to play today because I want you to make money. So yesterday, what did I mention? Intel, Boeing. So if the Dow is going to be positive again today, and I'm looking at pre-market, I'd rather be in a Dow stock. Dow stocks have gone up 10 days straight. So even though tech is spiking a little pre-market, you're looking at DraftKings, you're looking at Apple, Affirm. If I had to be favorable of one tech stock, I like Affirm, AFRM. I hate the company. I like the stock movement. Rivian. Also, then again, if Rivian goes up, Tesla's going to go up. On the negative side, again, you could look at Delta, United. I'm sure Carnival is going to be there, right? Disney, again, we talked about that. So again, there are certain plays that I don't want to be in and certain plays I do want to be in. Now, if I'm going to get into a play today, I already mentioned, I might look at a Bitcoin-related stock like Coin or Marathon Digital. I might wait to see a bottom on calls or a bottom on puts if the stocks spike, okay? But I need to see support for whatever position I get into. Remember, my trades haven't been swing trades, overnight trades lately. They've been more day trades. I'm in, I'm out, I secure 35%. I'm in, I'm out, I secure 45%. Remember, I've had 13 straight winning trades. I journal all of my trades. I come up with a complete strategy. So I already told you the market, the SPY story for today: bull case, dip, rip. All right, bear case, top out, double top, triple top, and then go down. Based on what I see the market play out, I decide whether I want to buy calls on the dip. If the market starts out and we dip to 453 and we find support, then yes, I'll be in calls. What calls would I be in? I don't know. I might be in coin calls. I might be in Marathon Digital calls. I might look at a SoFi. I might even look at an Alibaba, even though I hate Chinese companies. I might look at a Google, but Google has earnings, so I'd want to be in and out. Again, Google could run into earnings, which I believe are after hours today. So on a dip, Google might be a play because people get into Google prior to earnings, expecting some type of spike. When they're waiting for earnings, I'm getting out. I'm securing profit. I'm good. I don't need to ride a 350% profit up or get killed 90% on the downside, have my options worth 10% tomorrow morning. I'm okay to secure 28% today, 36% today. Let's remember, last week, all those compounding numbers returned me 90% of one of my accounts and 118% on my other account. Yesterday, I made 16% in one of my accounts and 6.85% in the other ones. I didn't have a red day. I've had 13 straight great trades. Please either join Discord, follow me here tomorrow. We'll talk about tomorrow being Wednesday. We've got the Fed's decision. Appreciate everybody joining me. I'm going to do a Discord video within the next 5 minutes. And again, my strategy today is to use the market net flow. I already showed you guys how that works. I went over it about like 15 minutes into the video. If you missed that, that's exactly how I'm going to trade today. It's not a specific stock. I'll probably be playing SPY or SPX. But again, net flow. If puts over calls and there's a bigger divergence, then I know the market's going to go down. When they get closer, I know the market is going to spike up. I showed you 3 occurrences in the past 1 day of trading. So even if you missed the first one, guess what? Just wait patiently. Watch the market on one side. Watch the net flow on the other side. When you see the opportunity, you're like the market's going to drop or the market's going to spike, then you either get into calls or puts accordingly. With that said, head over to Discord. I'll join you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.